Welcome back. American First Lady Michelle Obama promoted freedom of speech in China in an address at Peking University today. She said the free flow of information makes countries stronger.
That's why it's so important for information and ideas to flow freely over the internet and through the media, because that's how we discover the truth. That's how we learn what's really happening in our communities and our country and our world. My husband and I are on the receiving end of plenty of questioning and criticism from our media and our fellow citizens. And it's not always easy, but we wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. Because time and again, we have seen that countries are stronger and more prosperous when the voices of and opinions of all their citizens can be heard.
Turkey's attempt to block Twitter appears to have backfired. Many tech-savvy users have been circumventing the ban after Turkey's Telecommunications Authority said it had blocked access to the social media network. Suspicions are growing that Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan was using court orders to suppress corruption allegations against him and his government. Tweets have proliferated with links to recordings that appear to incriminate Erdogan and other top officials. President Abdullah Gül was among those who circumvented the order, which he contested in a series of tweets. Gül, once a political ally of Erdogan, has spoken out against internet censorship in the past, although last month he approved government moves to tighten controls online.
South Korea says North Korea launched 30 short-range rockets into the sea off its east coast today. It's the latest incident in a series of apparent protests against ongoing US-South Korean military drills. North Korea claims the drills are provocative and are preparations for an invasion of the country. Analysts say the annual drills force Pyongyang to spend precious resources on responding with its own exercises. Last year, North Korea raised tensions with its nuclear test, but it has so far refrained from doing anything as provocative this year. Well, Pope Francis has launched a stinging attack on Italy's mobsters, warning they should repent, otherwise they will go to hell if they continue. The pontiff was speaking at a prayer vigil for the families of those killed by the mafia. Yesterday's event was arranged by an Italian citizens group aimed at demonstrating the Catholic Church's opposition to organised crime and rejecting historical ties to mobsters who have claimed to be good Christians. It was the Pope's first major address to Italian victims of organised crime.
And back in local news, Secretary for Transport and Housing Anthony Cheung says frontline MTR staff should not be the only ones held responsible for service failures. As Vicky Kung reports, there are plans to hold senior management accountable as well.
The railway giant was fined $27.5 million in connection with service failures that occurred last year. The money will be returned to passengers as discounts on their return trips, but some still find the penalty inadequate. There have been calls for the MTR Corporation to implement an annual salary review so that senior management can be hit with a pay cut over major delays. While the company's board is still looking into the suggestion, Secretary for Transport and Housing Anthony Cheung agreed with suggestions that not only frontline MTR staff should be blamed for service failures. The transport chief also stressed that salaries of senior MTR Corporation officials could be adjusted right away if the company's board decides to give the measure a green light. On reports that fares could go up by more than 3.5% this year, Cheung today refused to speculate on the actual figure.
We have a formula-driven fare adjustment mechanism for the MTR, and that the result of that formula will still be capped by the change in median household income, which reflects the affordability of the general public.
Vicky Kung, TVB News.
Mixed views in a public hearing today on the government's waste reduction plan. Those who support and oppose plans to expand the territory's landfills and to build an incinerator made their voices heard. Evelina Lowe reports.
Yet another attempt by the government to persuade the public to agree to its waste reduction plan. One of the two public hearings on the administration's proposal to expand the 3 existing landfills and build an incinerator was held at the Legislative Council today. About 150 people took part. Those who live close by the landfills and the area where the planned incinerator is located voiced a strong opposition.
There are 400,000 people living in Chengquan-O. If you just count the school population alone, there are over 90 schools there. So can you put up with a landfill that's so close to an area where there's a rapid growth of the population?
The Green Groups at today's meeting demanded the government to first reduce waste at the source before deciding whether or not to build an incinerator and expand the existing landfills in Hong Kong.
Then we will be able to reduce the amount of recyclable waste from going to the landfill so that we can reduce the mass in the landfill and also reduce the odor problem to the nearby residents.
Some say the public doesn't trust the government's waste reduction work anymore, so the administration has to do a better job, starting with introducing waste charges and encourage more recycling. But there were also some who voiced support for the government's plan.
One, the volume of waste keeps on increasing. Number two, there is no proper channel and treatment of the waste. Given this urgent situation, the government is now proposing the 3+1 proposal. It is reasonable.
Secretary for the Environment Wong Kam Sing made clear any possible delays to the government's plan would put people's health at risk. Evelyn Lang, TVB News.
Well, Rugby Week is underway in the lead-up to the Hong Kong Sevens, and a lot is expected of the local teams, as both the men's and women's squads were recently accepted into the Hong Kong Sports Institute. Well, our Jameson Wong joins us now with more to tell us about the tournament coming up next week, and I hear that Hong Kong have a big goal to aim for and couldn't make it.
The players are now professionals, so they can focus on rugby. And again this year, the local team won't be playing for the Bowl, Cup, Plate or Shield, but something even bigger, a spot on next year's World Series. And it's simple, win and they're in. Unlike previous years, you don't have to be a quirky genius in a lab coat to understand the format. Or a young-looking alien professor who's been on Earth for 400 years to know what's at stake for the locals. This time for Hong Kong and 11 other teams, it's all or nothing.
They are playing for, this year, one slot to go up to the Sevens World Series next year.
Wait, surely it can't be that simple.
One trophy, one slot.
Okay, but what about the other teams, you ask?
So this year, it's one up, one down, relegation, promotion.
Again this year, there will be two tournaments. The Sevens World Series tournament with the 15 core teams plus Sri Lanka. Why Sri Lanka? Let's not go there. And the qualifier tournament, that's where you'll find Hong Kong. The winner of the qualifier earns promotion to next year's Sevens World Series circuit, while one team will be relegated at the end of this season.
And that's the news for tonight.
Thanks for watching. Good night.
Good evening. It was fine and dry today. At 5 p.m., a northeast monsoon brought cool weather to the South China coastal areas. And up to 5 p.m., the Hong Kong Observatory recorded temperatures range from 15.2 to 20.8 degrees, and the current temperature is now standing at 18 degrees Celsius. The fire danger warning is yellow and the fire risk is high. So, Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow? Mainly fine tomorrow. Temperatures will range from 16 to 22 degrees. It'll be mainly fine and warmer next week. Tomorrow morning's air quality health index will range from low to moderate, and the maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 8. And now to the latest global weather update. Cloudy in Shanghai, Taipei, and Xiamen. Cloudy in Guangzhou and Chengdu, bright in Macau. Cloudy in Beijing, sunny in Seoul and Tokyo. Thunderstorms in Bangkok, sunny in Ho Chi Minh City, showers in Manila. Showers in Kuala Lumpur, sunny in Singapore, rain in Jakarta. Thunderstorms in New Delhi, sunny in Karachi and Mumbai. Cloudy in Cairo, showers in Nairobi. Showers in Brisbane, Melbourne, and Auckland. Cloudy in Toronto, sunny in New York. Rain in Vancouver, cloudy in San Francisco, showers in Los Angeles. Showers in London, Amsterdam, and Frankfurt, snow in Zurich. And that's weather. Good night.